how these hoodies were going to come out. We were like, oh, ready, let's go. Got it.
Hey, everybody.
This awesome hoodie that I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but it turned out perfect. These are the best hoodies in the world. You should buy one from us. Anyway, here we are doing our book club. Say hi, Skylar, now.
Hi, Skylar, now.
There, you did it. We got Selena with us. She's in a very dark room.
And my husband now.
And my husband, Nick, who's always here helping behind the scenes. All right. Here we are on chapter 9. You didn't miss much. I'm just kidding. Let's read Becoming Lucid. On July 20th, 1969, a machine with legs like a spider detached from the command module and touched down on the surface of the moon. If they had been able to survive without their helmets on, the astronauts would have heard the complete silence of outer space. Commander Neil Armstrong's foot reached the surface, but because of the constraint of the suit he was wearing, he was not able to see the historic footprint that he made. He described the surface as having a powdery feel. Buzz Aldrin joined him, looking out at the empty landscape, finding that double kangaroo jumps were the most effective way to get around. Hundreds of thousands of miles away, the Earth listened to the men speak. In an attempt to describe this strange place, Aldrin used the phrase magnificent desolation. If you've ever wanted to reach out into the mystery of outer space yourself, lucid dreaming is not far off. In this chapter, we'll finally arrive in our dreams, using the tools we've collected over the last few chapters. Houston, we're about to touch down. The word typical is nowhere close to describing the profound experience of being conscious in the dream state. But there is a typical way to become lucid. In fact, an average 72% of lucid dreams tend to happen in this way, with a technique the lucid dreaming community calls a DILD, or a dream-initiated lucid dream. A DILD is simply a dream where you become lucid after the dream has already started. The spontaneous lucidity of this technique usually stems from some sort of trigger, an inconsistency, a dream sign, anything that makes the dreamer stop and question, am I dreaming? This chapter will focus on this method, as we found it to be the easiest way to experience lucidity. If you've set an intention before bed, performed reality checks throughout your day, or trained yourself to recognize dream signs, perhaps you've become lucid already. These waking world techniques will be helpful in this chapter, and we'll crank it up a notch by adding another killer technique to the mix. Just like Aldrin and Armstrong, soon enough, you'll be taking your first steps on a strange terrain. The problem. Remember rapid eye movement, REM? That stage of sleep where your brain is completely active and yet body is asleep? The time in which we dream? The term, to learn lucid dreaming, this stage is incredibly important. The goal is to direct all your energy at REM, to focus your intention on those open windows of time when you're actually dreaming. Here's the problem. When we set an intention before bed, we don't hit a substantial period of REM for nearly an hour after falling asleep. There are 3 stages of sleep you go through before even getting to REM. Your intention has to wait in line for light sleep and deep sleep to pass by before it gets its chance to shine. Often enough, as we enter REM or REM, we've forgotten our original plan, to have a lucid dream. Your goal is to see a dream sign or to perform a reality check will continue to fade as you progress through additional sleep cycles. If only there was some clever, simple solution to this problem, a way to go to sleep right into a dream, bypassing the amnesia of deep sleep. Don't panic, there is a way. Wake back to bed. The last 2 windows of REM occur at the end of our sleep cycles. In the early morning hours, although we dream on and off throughout the night, lucid dreams tend to focus on the last 2 stages for a couple of reasons. They're the longest. As the night progresses, the amount of time you spend dreaming increases. The last 2 stages of REM are the longest, nearly 50 minutes long each, giving you a great chance to have a long, vivid, conscious dream. No more deep sleep. Since you've already gotten your deep sleep over with earlier in the night, the only thing that lies between the last 2 stages of REM is the small sliver of light sleep. Your body is still tired, but your mind is primed for dreaming. Easier to remember. Subjects waking up directly out of a dream have a better dream recall. Focus on these last two stages of deep sleep, and it's likely that you'll remember your lucid dreams directly after waking. Armed with this knowledge, let's trick Mother Nature by catching our last two REM cycles. This feat is done with a technique known as wake back to bed. Simply put, it involves waking up after 6 hours of sleep, staying awake for 20 minutes, then going back to bed. This thrifty solution sends you back to bed right before you enter the last window of REM. How to catch your last cycle of REM. By waking up just before your last REM cycles begin, you're essentially putting your sleep on pause. When you go back to bed 20 minutes later, you'll be driving back into a nice, refreshing swimming pool, diving back right into a nice pool of your own dreams. With wake back to bed, setting intention, looking for dream signs, and focusing on becoming aware in your dreams becomes very effective. Here's a step-by-step technique. Step 1, set your alarm for 6 hours after bedtime. Wake up around 6 hours after you go to sleep. This tends to be a reliable number, but results may vary. If your early morning wake-up time isn't working, try variations. For example, if you're sleeping for a total of 8 hours, maybe you want to try to catch the very last REM cycle, so you'd want to set your alarm for 7 hours after your bedtime, not 6. If you have difficulty returning to sleep after a wake back to bed, stick with 6 hours. It will be easier to fall back to sleep with this option. Step 2, wake up for 20 minutes. Wake up and stay up for around 15 to 20 minutes. Staying awake for this span of time awakens your left brain, the analytical half of your mind, which is essential for realizing that, whoa, this is a dream. Without your active left brain there to help, your creative right brain will happily get carried away in the whimsy of the dream. In other words, you don't want to simply wake up for a few seconds and fall back to sleep. We know your bed looks so cozy and you could just cry, but this technique is basically pointless unless you stay up, get your brain thinking clearly and logically, and then go back to bed with a strong intention. Step 3, go back to bed. Now you can get back into bed and ooze into a state of comfortable relaxation. Many have found that sleeping on your back helps with lucid dreaming, so we recommend that you try this position. As you fall back to sleep, you want to focus your mind on your intentions. I will realize that I'm dreaming. Affirm it. Tell yourself over and over, I am aware that I'm dreaming. Let this be your dominant thought as you fall asleep. See it. Behind your closed eyelids, visualize yourself inside a dream. See yourself becoming lucid and realizing that you're dreaming. See yourself noticing a dream sign or doing a reality check. Imagine it with all of your 5 senses. The stronger the visualization, the better. Step 6, feel it. Feel the excitement and emotions that come with being lucid in a dream. When you stop and perform a reality check, only to realize that you are in fact dreaming, feel the incredible freedom of being aware without boundaries or limits inside a dream. Step 7, expect it. As you repeat the phrase, I am aware that I'm dreaming, you will begin sinking into sleep. Remembering you're not simply turning off like a robot, you're an explorer on a journey to your own inner universe. An incredible adventure awaits you. The next place you'll find yourself will be in a dream. Things to do in the 15 to 20 minutes while awake. Read past dreams from your dream journal. Look over your list of dream signs. Read this book or another book about lucid dreaming if you must. Take a pee. Draw a picture of a dream you'd like to have. Get up and walk around. Write a letter to your subconscious. Continuously ask yourself, am I dreaming, until you go back to sleep? Eureka! Hold on, make sure I didn't skip something. Oh yes, we're at Eureka. Eureka, you're in. Welcome to Wonderland. You're Alice and you've just hit the floor of the rabbit hole. The moment that you recognize that you're dreaming will be an exciting one, so give yourself a big pat on the back for this accomplishment. If this is your first lucid dream, then it's likely you now know what all the fuss is about. The experience is profound. You've just discovered a completely uncharted territory. Quite often, the amateur lucid dreamer's early exploits in lucidity last only a few moments. If you've become lucid already but lost your awareness very quickly, don't worry, this is common. In the next chapter, we'll look at ways in which you can stabilize the dream and stay lucid for long stretches of time. And if you haven't become lucid yet, do not fret, there's plenty of time to practice. After Aldrin and Armstrong's lunar module landed, they were supposed to sleep for 5 hours before leaving the cabin and venturing out onto the surface of the moon. They'd been awake for a while after all. The astronauts ignored this plan and left as soon as possible. They were just too excited to sleep. Wouldn't you be? Charles Conrad Jr. was the third man to step on the moon. Whoopee, he said. Man, that may have been a small one for Neil, but that was a long one. That's a long one for me. We know just how he feels. It's the end of that chapter. So I guess this chapter is assuming the moon landing is real. What'd you guys think of that chapter?
I liked it and I'm willing to try it, but my sleep schedule is not normal. So it will be interesting to see if I can sort of customize it to, like, I probably don't sleep more than 3 or 4 hours at a time, which now is making me think, like, wow, do I even get into REM? Like, I didn't know you could take a 20-minute break and then, like, basically pick up where you left off. I didn't know that that was even a thing. But yeah, my sleep schedule is 100% like non-traditional. It's a bimodal sleep pattern. So I think I can like work with it, but we'll see.
I only get like 8 hours of sleep, so
You're supposed to wake up at the 6-hour mark and go back for the 2 hours of
yeah, I
lucid
just
breathing.
wake up for the 6-hour mark and go to my life.
Stay up for 20 minutes and then go back to sleep.
Because then you said you slept for 8 hours. So you get up at the 6, go back for 2 more.
6. I only sleep for 6.
Oh, well, yeah, I only sleep for like 6 to 7 hours usually. And I'm also usually up like an hour and a half before I need to be. And I'm like just awake. I can't go back to sleep. So, but when I do fall back asleep, if I happen to be able to, I do have the most vivid and sometimes lucid dreams at that point. It only lasts a minute or two though.
Have you ever heard of the most dangerous thought experiment?
What is it? What's that? No.
Do you want to know it?
Is it gonna mess my head up forever?
It might.
It's easy to do, so it's all right. Go ahead, lay it on me.
All right. So after this, we'll go to another chapter, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll probably end it. It's only been 30 minutes, so oh my god, what's all over my screen? Anyway, so it's called Roko's or Ruko's. I don't know how to pronounce it. ROKO, Roko's Basilisk. Roko's Basilisk is a thought experiment proposed in 2010 by the user Roko on the Less Wrong community blog. Less Wrong community blog. That was harder, difficult sentence to say, believe it or not.
Tongue twister.
Roko used ideas in decision theory to argue that a sufficiently powerful AI agent would have an incentive to torture anyone who imagined the agent but didn't work to bring the agent into existence. The argument was called a basilisk, named after the legendary reptile who can cause death with a single glance. Because merely hearing the argument would supposedly put you at risk of torture from this hypothetical agent. I gotta fix my camera. I gotta get a new camera, I guess. A basilisk in this context is any information that harms or endangers that the person who hears it. Roku's argument was broadly rejected on Less Wrong. Okay, so where is it? So read more. This really doesn't go into it. It just kind of explains what it is and then goes into way deeper detail. But basically, the idea is that in the future, there will be an AI that will harm anyone who didn't help in the creation of that AI by spreading information about the AI or helping in building it, knowing that not everyone is technologically inclined, right?
Mm-hmm.
So saying that, you didn't help by spreading its knowledge of its existence or helping in the programming coding of this AI, that'll come back and hurt you.
This is just a more modern, like, The Ring, the movie The Ring, like you watch the tape and then you have to share it.
Ooh,
And
I
then
have not
70
heard that comparison ever, and I've been on the a little bit, not super deep into it, but a little bit of the lore of this thought experiment.
Instead of a videotape, it's now AI.
So the thought experiment is, do you, as someone who now knows about this, help in creating it, or because morally you're creating something that could hurt people, or do you, as someone who knows about this, want to try to stop it, knowing that you could possibly get hurt and maybe even unalived for its creation, or do you do nothing?
I do
I was
nothing. I take
I
my
was gonna say,
chances.
is this hypothetically if I have the power to do something or not?
Well, you do. You have the power. You can tell other people. You can spread
Okay.
its knowledge of it.
Well,
Of
I would
its
tell people
existence.
just because I would have to tell people just because I want to talk about this.
Right. Well, that's where I'm at. I think it's a cool thought experiment. Nothing more, nothing grander. You know, I don't think
Tyler, are you telling us
Is this
because
your duty
you
to the
have a
AI?
7
responsibility to
days.
tell us?
7 days.
Right.
Twisted face.
Do you see my gray? Do you see it? Is it showing up?
Yes.
My
Yeah,
sprinkle of gray. I didn't do
I
that.
see
That's
it.
natural.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
It's called a stress gray or something like that.
No. It's
Copper
called it's a witch's I have to look it up. Stephanie did a really
A
long
witch's
post on
lock
it one
or something
time.
like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's what?
Like a
It's
witch's
like a
lock.
yes.
Witch's lock.
Yeah.
hmm
Because you and Stephanie
I'll
both
send
got one.
you yeah, I'll send you Stephanie's post on it.
Okay, absolutely. I must have missed it somehow.
It was a while ago, but
Was it in our group or was it in her group?
it was both. She posted it in both, I believe, but
Oh,
it
yeah, it
was
was a long
very
time ago.
informative.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was cool.
Which is like I've heard it called a stress gray. Stress.
I
Not
think
like
a lot of times a witch's lock is like, something that women, have to deal with because women have to contend with whether or not we're going to die it out. Like, are we going to get rid of this or are we going to like become the wise crones that we are meant to be? You know what I mean? So I'm saying it to you, Sky, because I'm not being sexist and I'm being equitable here that you also have a witch's lock.
You got it. You're also it. My
Mhm.
dad never has gray hair. He's 70 something years old. I can't find any gray hairs on him.
it's because he's lived a very non-stressful life.
Oh yeah. 70 years in construction.
No stress in the construction world at all.
It's totally fine. My mom has a lot of silver, but she dyes it. I want to have silver so I could dye it cool colors. My only options are like black or browner right now. Let me see. Is this a long chapter?
I think
Right.
like I'm pretty sure it's male pattern baldness, but also I think the graying gene comes from the mother's father.
Father. Yep.
So that means your kids will probably not get gray when they're very
I don't
when
know
they're
how like well that is documented because my kids have some thick hair and their mother's father does not.
but what about the color and I think it will only be revealed when your children are much older.
It's kind of
Yes.
like one of those things. It's like a recessive and dominant traits. It's just kind of
hmm
you get the luck of the shuffle. I think is mostly where it falls in.
Well, Sky, was your mother's father only gray in the front?
I don't know. He abandoned my mom very early on.
It's
That's why
terrible.
these things are, family is so nice to have it, but also fleeting in some respects.
Good riddance is all I gotta say. I met him one
Good
time
riddance to
at a
bad
McDonald's, and he didn't really want to talk to me. So
Oh, well, good riddance then.
I was also like 10, so I wouldn't know what to say to a 10-year-old if I was like 70. He's alive
You were-
still, but like I don't have any interest in. My mom has no interest of meeting up with him.
Yeah.
I'm sure his new spouse, who was the one who was like, nope, not going to talk to them, has still no interest in talking to us.
Mm.
Maybe I should put on some fucking, like, you can see where I wear sunglasses outside.
You're not supposed to wear sunglasses.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you more because you asked. Because your eyes need to see the sun to be like, oh, I'm in the sun. Let me absorb the vitamin D. Let me not get sunburn.
Really?
Yes, it's a science. It's science.
That it
And so,
actually
like,
does make sense.
I have not worn sunblock all summer, and I really only go out after 2:00 usually anyway, but I have not gotten burnt.
They say you get more burnt in the later part of the days. I don't know how true
Okay.
that is.
I thought between 10 and 2 was where the sun was at its highest, and you were going to burn like a crisp.
Maybe that's what they're talking about when they say later part of the days. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know who
recently
these
had the
people are.
opportunity to like. I recently had the opportunity to go swimming at sunrise, and that was so freaking. That is when you should do it. Like I'm telling you, like there was no risk to like getting burned. The water was super super calm. There weren't many people in it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been missing out. I should be doing
That's
this every
awesome.
time I'm at a beach.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's amazing. One time I went swimming and it was nighttime at the beach. It wasn't really swimming. I just went into like up to over the knees, and it was like such warm water, and it was nighttime. It was like a freak warm water day up here on the Northeast oceans. And I'll never forget it. But then I realized that nighttime is feeding time, and I'm too scared to go in after sunset now.
Yeah, I would be a little scared. Like I did stand on the beach at sunrise and I scanned the whole
Right.
horizon. I'm like, let me just make sure nothing scary is in the water. But it was
Yes.
really nice.
I've swam in shark infested waters.
So, English teacher, anyone want to guess who wrote Tom Sawyer? Student, Rush.
I don't get it.
Rush is a band. They wrote a song called Tom Sawyer.
Oh.
So the student's correct.
So, okay, next chapter of us goofing around.
All right, I'm going to try to read most of this chapter, if not all of it. It's like 7 pages. It's a lot. Staying lucid. The small boat bobs in the ocean, thrown around by waves. You jump off the lip of the boat and hit the water. With a kick of your flipper, you find yourself engulfed by the blue ocean. The protective casing of your scuba mask grants you sights of exotic coral and fish. 10 seconds go by, and normally that'd mean time to surface. That small breath of oxygen in your lungs would be depleting. But fortunately, there's an O-tank strapped to your back and a hose leading to your mouth. As a scuba diver, you can swim underneath the waves for a long while without worry. A pink cloud floats by, tiny speckles of plankton, and you swim. You're free to search for strange fish, crustaceans, and whales. You've got all the time in the world. Most lucid dreamers would agree. There's nothing more frustrating than getting lucid and losing your awareness shortly thereafter. As a lucid dreamer, Dominic O explains, it felt like I had woken up and immediately decided to start messing with things. I acted out my fantasies of doing and saying whatever I want, but holding on to that awareness was too difficult to last more than a few minutes in the dream. Instead of lapsing back into being unlucid, I just woke up. Whether you wake yourself up out of excitement or sink back into an unconscious dream, awareness doesn't always stick once you find it. It requires a delicate balance. The ability to remain lucid is a skill that every lucid dreamer must learn if they want to explore the dream world. We know it can be exciting. Throughout the day, you ask yourself, am I dreaming? With an obvious no, the moment the answer becomes an astounding yes, you feel a tremendous rush of emotions. This excitement causes many beginners to wake themselves up back in their bedroom again. No need to feel bad about it. It happens to the best of us, and there's always tomorrow night. For other dreamers, the problem may be more subtle. In the waking world, we might get so engrossed in a TV show that we forget about the popcorn that's been in the microwave for 15 minutes. A similar bad habit often occurs when you're lucid. Getting lost in whatever dream activity you're doing can be consuming, and before you know it, you're back to having a regular old dream. In order to master lucid dreaming, you must stay balanced, with one foot in the dream and one foot out. In other words, engage the dream, but never forget that you're dreaming. To hold on to that self-awareness, get in the habit of anchoring yourself in the dream. To anchor, simply stop what you're doing and perform a technique that sharpens your focus. The result is a stable dream environment that you can explore freely and for longer periods of time. Learning how to prolong your lucidity is like having a tank of oxygen when diving. With it, you can explore the ocean for much longer. Instead of skimming the surface, your tank allows you to travel deep into the sea, down to the ocean floor where the real treasures of your subconscious are hiding. When to anchor your dream. Number 1, upon becoming lucid. The first moments of a lucid dream are the most crucial, so perform these stabilizing techniques directly after becoming lucid. Before jumping into your dream adventure, always pause for a second and anchor yourself in the dream by performing the techniques that follow in this chapter. If you're too hasty, you won't get very far anyhow. Number 2, when the dream starts fading. When the lucid dream is in danger of becoming a normal dream again, you'll actually see it happen. As your lucid dreaming abilities progress, you'll notice that the first of your 5 senses to go is often sight. Visual elements begin to fade and corrode, as if you stood up too quickly from a chair. The world in front of you will blur and darken. We have a big, fancy, incredible, hard-to-pronounce word for this phenomenon, fading. If the dream begins getting fuzzy or lacks richness, you'll know you're fading and that it's time to stabilize. 3, to amp up lucidity, most important, these techniques will follow you to heighten your level of awareness. Even if your lucid dream isn't at risk of ending, it's possible for your awareness to lessen. Awareness is not a binary switch, on or off. It lies on a spectrum from zombie to Buddha and everything in between. Stabilization techniques. The techniques below work in any of the 3 situations, whether you've just become lucid or started to fade or want to amp up your awareness. Pick the few that work best for you and have fun mixing and matching various techniques. Keep calm and carry on. Lucidity can be a very powerful and stimulating experience, like a feral horse. Unless you control and tame your excitement, it'll get away from you. We know it's hard to ignore the childlike voice in your head telling you to celebrate. Wahoo, I'm lucid. Put down your flute of champagne and hold off on the celebrations until after you wake up. As soon as you get lucid, stay calm and try to relax. Take a deep breath of dream air. Look around, and instead of complimenting yourself on being such a whiz, take it slow. Once you're calm, you can begin exploring. Spinning. Try this technique, which was introduced by Stephen LaBerge. He was searching for a way to prolong his lucidity during his research and stumbled upon this highly effective approach. The idea is very simple. To stabilize the dream, spin yourself, your dream body, around like you're doing a pirouette. You don't need to be a master ballerina. Simply turn yourself in a clockwise or counterclockwise direction. Dr. LaBerge notes that information on balance and movement are closely related with visual information. The sensory experience of spinning will produce a stable picture of the world around you, and it will make it difficult for your mind to communicate with your physical sleeping body, which could wake you up. Stay engaged. You're in a dream. Don't just stand there. Begin your adventure. The passive dreamer will soon find himself forgetting that he's in a dream. You don't have to go crazy, just find a tactile way to interact with your surroundings. Dr. LaBerge has a lot of experience with this pesky problem and advises us to load our perceptual systems so it cannot change its focus from the dream world to the waking world. Because you always have them at your disposal, try concentrating on your own hands. Look at them, really examine them, focus on something, and stay active. It will always help to stabilize the dream. Strike a balance. While it's important to stay engaged in the dream, don't get too wrapped up in one thing for too long. You might forget that you're in a dream. The goal is to strike a balance between interacting with the dream while at the same time remaining cognizant that it is a dream. The Bible will back us up on this. Be in the world, but not of it. When it comes to the plot of the dream, try to have 1 foot in and 1 foot out, a balance of mindfulness. Touch something. Get your head out of the gutter. We're not talking about dream sex just yet. Engaging any of your 5 senses, especially the sensation of touch, will help stabilize the dream world. Try a technique called the finger touch. Touch each of your fingers to your thumb and concentrate. Feeling your dream body, touch a wall, a plant, or the ground. Rub your hands together, pick something up, and feel the weight of it. Concentrate on other senses, such as hearing and taste. The main idea here is to stimulate your focus. The more you can focus, the better, on a sensation, the dream world, or on your body. No matter how hard, on your dream body. No matter how hard the ocean tugs at your ship, your awareness will remain steady with this anchor. Command the dream. If you're mid-flight, it might be hard to rub your hands together or touch something, especially if your flight style resembles Superman. So here's an approach that can be used anytime, anywhere. Simply command the dream verbally by saying something out loud that will help your focus. Actually speaking, sometimes shouting a word, stabilize or clarity or increase lucidity, will serve as a reminder to both your conscious and your subconscious that your intention is to focus. Don't be shy. Use this technique frequently throughout the dream. Wherever you begin to feel the dream fading, command it to stabilize. The results are usually immediate. Meditate. Want to blow your mind? This final technique allows the dreamer to raise his or her awareness to a much higher level. This approach isn't recommended for beginners, but there's no harm in trying. If lucidity is a spectrum, then using this technique will send you off the charts. It requires the dreamer to sit and meditate while lucid in the dream. That's right, the practice of meditation works the same in the dream world as it does in the waking world. Sit down and concentrate on your breath and focus on the sounds around you. Continuously remind yourself of the realization that you're dreaming. Notice any sounds or sensations. There's a breeze blowing in your dream. Can you hear birds or children or traffic? Feel how solid the ground is, yet understand that this is not real. Develop the mindfulness that you're in your own subconscious and that whatever appears out there is really a reflection of you. Levels of lucidity. In the dream world, there are various levels of lucidity. You might realize you're dreaming, but there's somehow everything is not in your control. You might have a vague awareness that you're dreaming, but you're unable to direct your own actions in the dream. Or you might have very high awareness. You're the creator of and at one with everything around you. The levels of awareness lie on a spectrum. Here is a basic reference to these levels. Level 1, no awareness whatsoever. You dreamed but have no recollection of it. In other words, you were dreaming unconsciously. Level 2, slight awareness that you're dreaming and are able to act or make decisions. Dream recall is easier. Level 3, you know that you're dreaming, but see things out there as separate from you. You have a hard time influencing the dream environment. Level 4, you know that you're dreaming and that everything out there is really in here. There is no separation, mastery over dream elements, and creation. Level 5, the very end, or is it? This level is known only to masters of the dream state. It goes beyond the normal interactions with the dream world. The projections of the dream world dissolve and you reach a level of pure conscious awareness. Now that you're anchored, the sea can be rough out there. No matter your skill level, the know-how to stabilize a lucid dream will always come in handy. Practice using a few of these techniques by themselves or in combination with one another. As you learn how to prolong your lucidity, you're getting familiar with the dream world, how it feels and behaves. With the valuable gift of time, you can walk around, talk to dream characters, and deliberately seek out and ask questions to the dream. Your skills will increase and your lucidity will last for longer and longer periods of time. Your tank is strapped on, your gear in place. You've got a full tank of oxygen. All right, Cousteau, the next part of the adventure is up to you. Let's take a look at the best ways to explore this mysterious place. Chapter end. So,
Well read.
thank you. I try.
That wasn't that long.
No, I don't think it was at all. So are we going to get
It
lucid
almost
tonight?
sounded. It sounds like they alluded to later chapters where they talk about dream sex.
I guess they do. They said they're not talking about that. Oh, everyone always says one of the first things they do when they become lucid is have sex anyway. I think. So who told me that?
Blue.
That's what he said that, right? I didn't want to say it if
Yeah.
he didn't say it.
Yeah, Blue said that.
It's usually with monsters too and like cryptids. You
Sounds
freak,
like Black Mirror episodes.
right? I don't think he hears us talking. I think he's managing the children upstairs.
Probably.
What would you do if you became lucid in a dream? What's the first thing you would do?
I'd have to go with the stock answer of flying.
Yeah, I always fly whenever I think I can.
I don't know this whole sex thing is, I mean, I don't know if I'd do that.
You would. What about you, Selena? Would you do dream sex?
Oh yeah,
I mean, I get
for
enough dream
sure.
sex without lucid
While
dreaming.
I'm flying. While I'm flying. How about
Oh
that?
my gosh, I gotta
Oh,
try
there
that. That's so funny. Oh boy.
I like to multitask. I like to be really efficient whenever I'm doing anything.
You need the double excitement.
Yeah,
Double your
exactly.
pleasure.
Exactly.
double your pleasure, double your fun, double mint gum.
Flying and fucking.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wonder if there's a later chapter on that. No, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna look now. Let me see.
Hey, you gotta practice safe flying and fornicating.
Let's see. So we're on staying lucid. Okay, transportation, creation, the natives, superpowers, diffusing nightmares, healing and wholeness, dream incubation. I thought I was going to say masturbation. Wild, know thyself, waking vision. It doesn't say anything about sex in the content table. Of
So
content.
I'm looking at this Malin witch streak hair, Malin
Right.
streak. I'm
Mhm.
looking at the images. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail this. This was just something
No,
that
that's okay. This is more
I looked up
interesting.
hairstyles for people who have this, and it's literally just the same thing that I have going on right now. It's it's people with a fade, lower to higher, and anywhere in between, with their hair combed over, extenuating their little streak.
Told ya.
It's nice. It's growing.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be like an FU to the patriarchy, though. So
I don't know. I see a lot of dudes with this hair. So it's yeah. I read her thing. It's like a FU to heteronormative beauty standards
conformity, yeah.
because gray hairs aren't attractive apparently, but except for all men. So
I mean, we're
I've got
seeing a
all of
change in the
this
tide.
from this to here is gray. That's all gray, and then
Should dye it blue.
same on this. So I keep it like cut close, but you can still see the gray.
Mm-hmm.
Did you shave?
Did I shave my face?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have gray in your facial hair?
I don't. I have red. I have a lot,
never-
maybe a few grays, but mostly it's black and red.
Do you think the red hairs are turning gray? Like, or is that why they're red?
Hmm.
Yeah, like maybe that's a step into between losing pigment.
Oh no, I'm just a red beard, like
Oh, okay.
it's Scottish Irish descent. It's
Interesting.
Scots Irish telltale
Mhm.
sign.
Red beard.
Yes.
Skylar Redbeard over here.
Gray hair, red beard.
Gray streak, gray hair on the sides, red beard.
Look at this.
I said on the sides too. I said it. Oh,
I
and
have
in
the
the back.
Mr. Fantastic.
All right,
Mr.
like a quarter
Fantastic.
gray.
Have you ever seen Mr. Fantastic from the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four? Yeah.
Mhm.
Would
I've
you
got
say
that
you're
going on.
50% gray?
I wouldn't.
I'd say 35%.
Maybe 45%. Maybe. It's getting there. It's gonna be gray as fuck. I'm gonna be one. I use that Age Up app, and it's like all white everywhere, and I look like it's like supposed to be like you in your 50s. I look like I'm 90. So I'm looking forward to the
No.
next 20 years.
Well,
I'm in the prime of my life right now. 36, baby. It's all downhill from here.
Certain men become more attractive the more gray they get. So
Not
I know,
me.
right?
Nah, I look
How
like
do
your
you know?
pawpaw. I look like your pawpaw.
no,
Like, I look like that guy on the rocking chair in the front of your house. He's like got a big old pipe and like a shotgun next to him. Talk about when I was a kid, the bank didn't own any of this land.
I don't agree with
lots of
this
ladies
narrative.
like that.
So we used to be all farmers around here. Now you got that piggly wiggly.
Well, some people do like to entertain Paul core.
What time is it?
It is now
8:59.
8:59.
My stomach just growled so loud.
You should
Are
go
you hungry?
eat after
I don't
this.
feel hungry, but my body is saying I should be. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm concerned now. I think you should eat.
Yeah, I'll offer myself something and see what happens. Sometimes when I start making food, then I smell it and then I get hungry.
Oh,
I know. I
have
still have to force
snacks.
myself to eat a bite, and then I'm like, oh man, I am hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing happens to me.
I
Yeah.
keep
Thank you for
snacks
reading,
available.
Christine.
Always have snacks.
I always have nuts.
I do too.
That's true. Pistachios, especially salted pistachios.
Nuts are good. They're
Unsalted
high.
pistachios can just get out of here. It tastes totally different.
Get out of here.
Unsalted pistachios, we don't want your bland ass up in here.
I like popcorn as a snack.
Popcorn is a good snack.
It's a good snack.
You know what I think is a really good
You
snack?
can eat a lot of it. What?
Children's snacks, like the Gushers and the fruit roll-ups, and
I
Real
love those
baby's
yogurt.
food. I'm kidding.
Like
no,
I like
some of
baby
the,
food.
some of that baby banana and blueberry
Hell yeah.
pomegranate and stuff
Mhm.
like that. That should be off good.
Yep.
But I just make my own when the kids get big enough to eat. So we just we've got a
The
blender.
baby bullet. I'm
A
gonna buy you the
blender.
baby bullet. That's what I'm gonna buy for your present. You're gonna love
Oh,
it.
okay.
The baby bullet. It makes your own baby food.
I don't like the name of it, but I'm down.
I don't think about it.
My kids
just
liked
think so good.
sweet potatoes and oddly avocado when they were really
Chrissy
young.
just said on live stream that she's gonna buy a bullet for my baby. So
Stop.
I just want to put that out to everyone.
No. I'm gonna
These
tell Stitch
manufacturers could
yogurt
definitely call it
melts.
something different.
I know. Why did they do that? Because it's smaller than the. Oh, because it's from the magic bullet.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a little blender cup.
Yeah. They're very good and convenient. I used them for years after my kids were eating baby food.
Yeah, man. Who doesn't like
I used to give my kids like a mango seed when they were like in their high chair. Like if I needed to like get the dishes done or something, like just give your kid a freaking mango seed. They're gonna be trying to pick it up and it'll be
That's
so
funny.
messy. And when they're done, just zip them, like put them right in the tub when they're done. But
Yeah.
it was a good thing, a distracting thing to have them like try to. They of course they love how it tastes, but
That's a good
kept them
thing.
busy. Yeah.
That's a good idea. My kids, I always bathe them after their meals when they were little. And now my 6, almost 7-year-old is always like, okay, I need my bath after she eats every time. I'm like, I can just wash your hands now.
No
like,
whole
"No, I
body,
need my
please.
bath."
Thank you. That's cute.
She's funny.
Well, thank you for reading. I think this book is like, I like that it's offering you real time, sort of like, hey, if this happens, try this thing or do it this way, or here's how you can recenter yourself.
Yes, it's very universal, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a guide, like they said. So I think that's
Yes.
pretty cool.
Field guide.
Field guide.
All right. Does this conclude our book club meeting?
I believe so. Join
You
us
did the
next
sign
week
off.
when we talk about the effects of dinosaurs on lucid dreaming.
The effects of dinosaurs on lucid dreaming.
Yes.
Okay, look, here's our book over here. Here's our book over here. Here's our hoodie right here. Go to
I'm not wearing any
blackjade.org
merch
or anywhere else.
because
You
my
were
baby,
earlier.
my baby threw up all over my merch.
I told you not to let this happen.
Yes, because it's
How
so
dare
easy.
you? I know.
You talk to the
You just gotta
Cassidy.
look
You
them in
talk
the
to
eye and
Cassidy.
know when they're gonna barf. What?
You talk to Cassidy. You tell him.
I'll tell them. So you have to explain when you're gonna barf, little CJ. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good
All
night.
right. Good night.